under the Labour plan, private schools will lose their charitable status and pay 20% VAT on fees.
He is attacking the hard-working aspiration of millions of people in this country.
Next up, private schools. Now, the Tories could be expending what remains of their political capital, parliamentary time, processes, fixing some of the problems that they've actually created. They could be drafting in workers to help with the NHS. They could be building tech hubs, you know, get people coding, get Britain fit for the future. But no. What were we talking about this morning? What was privately educated Nick Ferrari babbling on about on LBC? Private schools. And this idea that Labour might slap 20% VAT on top of private school fees. So the fees that rich parents pay to send their kids to a posh school might go up by 20%. And the Tory right-wing press are really cross about it. Oh, goodness me, they're appalled. So just for context, this is 20% that's going to be added on top of something that costs $7,000 a term, or like 10 grand a term. And I saw this tweet. This tweet caught my eye earlier by this lady on Twitter. It says, Labour will add 20% VAT to private school fees within their first year of power. Labour's desire to punish independent schools is an attack on aspiration. Like, I love this anti-aspiration nonsense. Like, Labour are anti-aspiration, guys, deigning to tax private schools. So just take a seat while I dismantle this shit point by point. So first up, if you can afford 30 grand a year to send your kid to a posh school and your other kid to a posh school, you can afford the VAT. So just shut the fuck up, you bellend. And second, if you have a problem with this, if you've got a problem with VAT being added to things, that's actually not that surprising, because you spent the last month banging on about inheritance tax and, oh, this is money that's being taxed twice. Well, guess what? That's VAT as well. You earn your money, it's already been taxed, then you take it to the shop and they tax it again. You're like, oh, I don't want to pay VAT on my school fee. Yeah, no shit. I don't want to pay VAT on anything either. Let's sack it off. It's immoral. But also, the thing that gets me about this is the total lack of self-awareness. Like, when anyone who is a supporter or a representative of the Conservative Party criticises a Labour Party policy for being anti-aspiration, I'm like, how do you have the gall to talk anti-aspiration in the context of education when university tuition fees are like 10 grand a year? So you got 2 kids and you want them to grow up and do well and get good jobs? Well, that's £60,000. Like, that is almost by definition a tax on aspiration. Oh, Labour will add 20% VAT onto private school fees. That's punishing independent schools. It's an attack on aspiration. Anti-aspiration. Give me strength. Like the underfunded classroom and concrete coming loose and ploughing through your daughter's head didn't temper her dreams a bit. Honestly, all these conservatives, centre-right, far-right, like wherever they sit, with these opinions on the state school system that they've never been touched by. Sunak remains completely unacquainted with the state school education system, but he's happy to share his opinions about it, isn't he? Like, you know what? I'm completely unacquainted with rehab. But you know what? I don't share my opinions on rehab centres. I don't. When the subject of rehab centres comes up, I sort of shut the fuck up a bit. Like, every recourse, every retort, every one of them is just so easily neutered. They're just childlike defences, you know? Oh, you shouldn't. No, don't put VAT on private school fees. That's an attack on aspiring parents, Aid. You can't attack Like, come on. If you can afford 7 grand a term, you can afford 8.5. Don't fuck about. And if you can't, do you know what you should do? Right. You should go into the school. You should go up to the headmaster's office. You should knock on the door. And then you should just ask him nicely. You should ask them to donate their time and just help you because they're charities. Remember? And charities are just nice and friendly, and they just give people a hand, don't they? Charities step in when the state has failed. Isn't that the saying? And I'm sure that because they're charity, they're just really, really nice. I'm sure that they will absolutely give you £30,000 a year of premium tier education for free out of the goodness of their hearts because they're charities, guys. They're just, they're just endlessly nice like that. That's why, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but that's why so many people who come through the private school system are so well adjusted and compassionate because they grew up in a charity.